Hello, welcome back to The Reading Mama. My name is Heather and I am the Reading Mama. I have 8 kids, and yet, in spite of that, I had an amazing reading summer. Today, I want to share with you all of my big books that I finished this summer. Sue Jackson hosts Big Book Summer, and this is my first year participating in it, and I read 10 books. That's pretty amazing considering I have a really tiny one. But it was great. I really loved it. I love the simple prompt of something over 400 pages, easy to get along with, and I didn't have to search. It was just books that I happened to want to be reading, and they happen to be big books. So I'm going to go through and tell you as best I can real quick. So first up, 3 big books that I finished were from Saw to Hear. Krista at Big Books and Jams was reading through the Ember and Ashes series, and I joined her with that through the summer. We saw book 4, which we'll do in September, but all 3 of those were over 400 pages, and you follow 3 plot lines in this kind of fantasy world where you have multiple different people groups and a tyrannical ruling class. And you follow Leia, who is of the downtrodden persecuted class. You follow Elias, who is breaking free from that upper class, so to speak, and the violence that he abhors and yet is part of his life daily. And then you have Helene, who is trying to dismantle that group from within and battling all those things that go along with that. And so it's a wonderful series. It's a little dark now, but I'm really enjoying it. It's good YA. There's like a little bit of romance, I would say, because while there's love, it's nothing too much. There was a little bit in book 1. But otherwise, there's really not too much of that. And I appreciate that. But I really love the characters. I love the plot line. It's very fast paced and enjoyable. I never am like slogging through a chapter. Really enjoy it. So looking forward to book 4. And then I'm just going to go through the rest of them. The beginning of the summer, I finished Deep Sky by Yuma Kitase, and I can't remember which one was Deep Sky. I read 2, Deep Sky and Stargazer by her. And overall, her books are phenomenal. I love the plot lines. I like the characters. I don't like some of the progressive ideals that are possessed in relationships. I'll just say it that way. I'm a conservative Christian. It just goes against what I believe in. And there were a few swears, but not much. Not a lot of romance, not too much of that. I believe Deep Sky is the one where it's a group of girls and you go back and forth in time as they prepare to go on this mission to another world to try to start a new colony. And in it, all these girls have been chosen to go because basically on the way they're going to get pregnant through artificial insemination, and then they're going to start a colony there. But along the way there's a murder, and then you have like murder in space. It was like really thrilling concept. So I really enjoyed that part of it. Then I finished The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and I think by far that's my favorite Kristen Hanna so far. And here you follow a troubled family whose father has PTSD majorly from Vietnam. They try to escape their troubles by going to Alaska, but of course the troubles follow them there. And you just follow a young girl, very teenagery kind of story, but you follow her into adulthood as well. And just how they deal with those different concepts. I loved the community aspect because the people there in Alaska just really rally around the mother and daughter. I really loved the relationships and overcoming hard things, and talking about loving those who are hard to love, and how sometimes you should break free and sometimes you should pursue. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. And then I read The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. Weird Flavia de Luce. It's written for adults, but you follow an 11-year-old who's like a detective. Very upper class family, and she's the mother has died. Normal nuance there. Father's like, he loves his kids, but he's not like super connected. They're all basically kind of savants, very well educated, smart children. Anyways, a murder happens outside their house and then they try to solve it. Very interesting. I enjoyed it to an extent. I don't know that I would continue the series, but it was good. It was funny. A lot of great wittiness, a lot of great literary and just erudite type references, and I really enjoyed that. Then I read Switchboard Soldiers, which I have talked about on so many videos, so I'm not going to bore you, but I really loved Switchboard Soldiers by Jennifer Chiaverini, historical fiction, World War One, talking about the ladies who went over and ran the switchboards. So that was great. Then I read All the Broken Places by John Boyne, and I was talking with Alma over at Alma Reads, and like, I did not realize that this was a sequel to The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I never read Boy in the Striped Pajamas because I watched the movie and that traumatized me enough. I think it must be a very well written book. But because I know the ending, I don't think I can bring myself to read that book. And I don't think I would have picked up this book had I known it was a sequel, because it's about halfway through the book. I'm like, this sounds a lot like, is this related to The Boy in the Striped Pajamas? And like, finally at the end of the book, I realized it was. But you follow his sister, the young man from that, and what her life has been like as she grows up. And it took some twists and turns that I did not expect. I don't know what I expected from this book. You jump back and forth between her life after World War II all the way through she's an aged woman, and the ending was shocking, and just, I don't know, it was very well written and definitely kept me on my toes. So definitely recommend All the Broken Places by John Boyne. Then I read The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal, and I really enjoyed this. I'm hoping to continue the series. I haven't continued it yet. It's an alternate history, and you follow basically a meteorite has hit Earth in the Atlantic, destroyed a large portion of America. They've moved the capital over to Kansas. Odd. And basically the point is that we need to leave Earth to start a new colony, because over time Earth is going to destroy itself because of the effects of this meteorite. Total nonsense, totally insane. They're doing all of this. Sorry, they're testing the sirens. And all of it, but I love it. It's sci-fi, it's fun, it's historical fiction, it's like all those things combined. Really enjoyable. I like the characters. It's between a married couple. Is what you get a woman's perspective who is a calculator, who wants to be an astronaut, and she's married, and so you have sweet romance between her and her husband. And then the last one that I read was a nonfiction, which is The Codebreaker by Walter Isaacson. Again, some things that I don't agree with, scientifically speaking, because of, anyways, but she's the scientist behind CRISPR and gene exploration, and a lot of RNA development and things like that. And it was just, it was a pre-read for my high schooler who's reading the Young Readers edition, and it was just a really interesting aspect. I love giving my kids biographies of scientists, and I love reading biographies of scientists. It's just a different way to come across science study, and I love finding women in science. Specifically, I have 7 daughters. I am not a feminist, but I do think that they need to know that women can do these things. And so I loved Jennifer Doudna's kind of story, and her kind of, at least the way Isaacson projects it, is that she was and had a lot of integrity in some things that were not going well. And I think it's funny seeing the inside part of the science community. It's very middle schoolish. You just petty arguments back and forth, and who did this first, and they show how during the pandemic they kind of came together, and I just really enjoyed it. It was very well written. There are some things obviously I don't agree with, but I can still read it and find enjoyment, and that was a great nonfiction. Sorry, my hay fever is acting up. So with that, I will head out, but that was my 10 books for Big Book Summer. I really enjoyed it and look forward to joining again next year. So thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.